Good morning and welcome back to Sarajevo, Bosnia. Today we are going to be heading out of the capital city and exploring a region of the country that very few tourists get to do so, and that is north of the capital. We did originally plan to take public transport and maybe spend a couple of nights in some smaller towns, but we really didn't have the time. We then looked into renting a car and doing something similarly, but it just didn't work out. We wanted to see as much of the country as possible in one day, which is why we are meeting back up with our friends from Meet Bosnia, and we are heading on a Bosnian road trip.
We have definitely lucked out with the weather this morning. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Sarajevo, and it is an early start because we have a lot of ground to cover. We're going to be checking out some small villages, we're going to see some waterfalls, some lakes, and I'm really excited.
And just over an hour later, we have made it to Travnik, and the drive here, stunning. Honestly, Bosnia is just full of luscious green countryside wherever you look, and we have met our guide Yasmin, who is going to be showing us around these little hidden gems of the Balkans. And Travnik was the old capital city back in the Kingdom of Bosnia, and honestly first impressions of this place, stunning. Located on the river, you've got the old medieval fortress up above us, the sun is shining. You need to come to Bosnia. Welcome to Travnik.
It's absolutely stunning, and our first stop is the blue water. I'm not sure why it's called the blue water, it's just pure, clear spring, and it was actually the water source to the town back in the medieval times for the fortress, which we're going to see in a minute. And our guide Yasmin said that people just felt better near the water, and it's true.
I love being near a river.
I love the sound. Honestly, this is so beautiful. The spring just flows from the top all the way down, and as you can hear, it's very noisy but very calming.
You've got a few little souvenir shops, but the coolest bit is right in the middle here, in the spring flowing down, is this pond full of trout, and locals will come here. It's essentially a fish farm. They will come, they'll pick their trout and they'll take it home, and they'll have it on the barbecue for dinner. So Balkan. Voila. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. We decided to stop for a Bosnian coffee at Pliva voda, which means blue water. And I feel like you have to make the most of this. It's absolutely stunning. The weather is perfect for us today. And I'm going to remember how to drink Bosnian coffee. So you pour some in, right?
Pour some in.
Yeah.
And then you take a bite.
Oh no, you
dip it.
Yes. Yeah. This is too much, I think. Take a bite. And then you drink the coffee, because the coffee is very strong. Marginally better.
We were at that awkward time when it was slightly too early to have a beer, and for me almost too late to have a coffee because I won't sleep tonight. But I love how you get, I'm going to call it a Bosnian delight. That comes with it, and got extra strong Bosnian coffee. And I mean, what a view. And like they said, there's something about being or sitting by a water source, it just calms you down. You could sit there all day listening to the river running through, changing from Bosnian coffee to a local beer, grab some food, just enjoy the sun. But we are now enduring the short hike, the 5-minute walk up to Travnik fortress, and it is impressive. It overlooks the entire town, and you can imagine back when this was the capital of the Kingdom of Bosnia, this would have been the place where the high ups look down on the rest of the town.
Voila, thank you so much. I'm not sure what I was expecting of Travnik, but the views are absolutely stunning. Entrance to the fortress was 4 Bosnian marks per person, which is about £2, and it is so worth it because not only can you see the town, I think it's a city. We're calling it a town because it does feel more town, villagey, very quaint, but you have these mountains, the trees, it's just imposing on you, and of course we're on top
a 15th century.
It's so cool. And now we can introduce you to our lovely guide, Yasmin.
Hello everybody, welcome to Bosnia. My name is Yasmin, and we are today in Travnik Fortress. I just want to share with you a few words about it, and I want to say this beautiful fortress has layers of history. So it was built in 15th century officially, but if you're asking me, I think even earlier. Every single part and stage of that has something to offer. So Bosnians started as a Bosnian church, and then later Ottomans bringing Islam.
But can
as
I ask
elements.
you a question? Mm-hmm. I asked him already, but I'm going to ask you again.
Okay.
Travnik, is it your favourite?
Well, hard question now. But one of my top 3 cities in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Surely I recommend you because you can have a mix of culture, of history, and great nature. Because just above this beautiful fortress, you have Vlasic Mountain, which is the root of this area.
There you go.
But Travnik, who would have thought it? There really is something for everyone. You can dress up in some traditional clothing. Even down here, you can partake in some archery. I'm not letting Molly have a go. You would definitely take someone's eye out, but I think we're going to head up to the top. And like I said, you can see the layers of history. You can see the minaret that's been added to the fortress when the Ottomans came to Travnik. But I think from up here, you'll get even better views of the countryside, the town, the city of Travnik. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Voila.
We've decided to stop for some lunch right underneath the fortress. This is Castel na Hendike, and of course, what else do you eat when you come to a Bosnian town? We have CEVAPI and bread, and we also have some Bosnian tunes going on. We got some kajmak. I'm not sure if I can eat this elegantly, but I'm just grabbing some bread and breaking off some Travniki.
They say the best. They say the best in Bosnia.
Whew, that's a big statement. We'll test. It's really good CEVAPI. Really soft. The bread's great. It's oily. And the kajmak. Ugh. By now you should know it's one of our faves.
I think they were correct when they said Travnik does the best CEVAPI in all of Bosnia. Maybe all of the Balkans. It was so fresh from the countryside around us, so juicy, and the kajmak, honestly, a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, perfect. But we are now jumping back in the van and continuing on this Bosnian road trip. Thank you, Vala.
Thank you.
Vala, thank you so much.
Can you smell that? Can you hear that? That is nature. Another hour's drive through the Bosnian countryside, and we have made it to Jajce. This was the last city to fall to the Ottoman Empire back in the 15th century. And what makes this city so unique is that it is the only city, apparently in the entire world, to have a waterfall in the city centre. Above this is the main town centre, the fortress, But this right here, the Jajce waterfall, I don't think I've seen anything quite like it in a city centre anywhere. Well, statistically you won't anywhere. I'm getting wet in the entire world. Welcome to the Niagara Falls of Bosnia.
Surprisingly, not many people actually choose to come down to the viewing platform because you do have to pay to enter. It costs us 10 Bosnian marks each, which is around 5 English pounds, but you can also do a zip line, which is pretty cool. I think I may have done it, but it is only 2 and I'm not really dressed to zip line.
The closer you get to it, you really can feel the force of this 20-metre waterfall. And then during one point in the summer, there's actually a platform at the top where professionals dive off of this into the river. I mean, they must be crazy. You've got a rainbow, even a blooming rainbow. This is Balkan health and safety at its finest. Just past the waterfall, they've got this, I don't even know what you'd call it, mesh sort of lookout zone where you can look over the 2 rivers that actually meet here. And you've got the zip line, they're literally going over our head right now. You get the zip line right past the waterfall, which for 30 marks, and if you have time and aren't only here for a day, well, a couple of hours, I'd definitely recommend it.
8th century.
It was definitely worth paying the 10 Bosnian marks to go to that vantage point of the waterfall, because not many pay it and you do get pretty much the entire thing to yourself. But we've now hiked up above the city and paid 5 Bosnian marks to come into the, I can never pronounce it, Molly.
Jajce.
Jajce. See, we would say Jajce because it's spelt with a J, but they say a Y just to be confusing. But this fortress, yeah, 5 Bosnian marks. We're actually the only ones in here at the moment, and again the views over the city. I can't believe they call this a city. You'd call it a town, right?
Yeah, it's like a bigger village, isn't it?
It's like a bigger village, yeah. Below are amazing, and this actually dates back to around, they say, the 8th century. And again, you can see the layers of when the Ottomans finally took it back in the 15th, 16th century. But this was the last place to fall. So I'd not want a fight with someone from this city.
I really didn't know or expect Bosnia to be this green, and of course I know it was beautiful, but it is like completely different to what I was expecting. And similarly to Travnik Jajce, I think that's how it is. Jajce. Looks like a little ski village. I mean, I know it's like 30 degrees and it's scorching hot, but the orange roofs up in the hills, the mountains, it does make it look like a ski village.
And just 10 minutes down the road from Jajce is the Pliva Lakes and the Pliva water mills. This actually feels like a film set. These date back hundreds of years, and they're actually used up until the Second World War to grind wheat. There were actually plans to open these as like little Airbnbs where you could stay the night with the water running through, the lakes right next to us, and you might hear some music because biker gang are in town. There is a bike festival going on at the moment, so once we've walked around here and got to the lake, we might join in with the bikers and grab a nice cold beer. It's boiling. I'm not sure how many there are. There must be 15, maybe 20 still here remaining. It really feels like, I don't think you can, but well, that's number 23, so perhaps there are more than I first thought. But I can hear that music, and there's so many bikers all in their biker gear, drinking their beer, enjoying the scenery. Look at this place, look at that. Bosnia.
How have we ended up at a biker festival? I think we're gate crashing.
Živeli.
Živeli, this was so funny. You had to buy tokens to buy the beer. So one beer was 1 token, which was 2.5 Bosnian marks.
A
pound for a draft beer at a bike festival.
Where is your levers and your big beard covered in tattoos? Gate crashing, a Bosnian biker festival. Ticked. Cheers. Good morning from sunny Sarajevo. How did we end up at a biker festival in a rural lake in Bosnia? But like I said yesterday, that is well and truly ticked off. We then did have a 2.5 hour drive back to the capital, but that is why I would highly recommend Meet Bosnia. You get to see as much of the country as possible in a short space of time. We wouldn't have had time to go and stay in Travnik for a few days and then head out to the lakes for a day and everything else in between, but we got it all covered in just one day, which is why we decided to extend in Sarajevo for a couple of days rather than try and explore the country by ourselves and not manage to see as much as we wanted to. But we need to show you, we've moved to a new location. This is, look at this view from our bedroom looking over the lush hills of Sarajevo.
We are actually staying at Bashucha, which means old house, similar to the old town of Bashaja, and we are just situated on the hill outside the old town, which means that it is a little bit quieter. What you'll notice in the old town is there's lots of goings on, so here we slept very well. And also the style of the hotel is sort of Ottoman old style, which I love, mixed with modern. As you can see, we have another attic room. They seem to love this here. I'm assuming it's because you get to see the hills of Sarajevo. So we have our huge bed, we have storage, we have the beautiful bathroom, smart TV, and I love this, a fancy kettle.
They did tell us when we checked in that the breakfast at this hotel is exceptional, and I'm now looking at the spot that we have our breakfast. I mean, have you ever seen a better designed restaurant than this? I don't know what it is that they do in this hotel, but it smells so good. It looks so blooming good. And we've started with the Bosnian continental breakfast. We've got some burek, we've got some sujuk, we've got cheese, we've got ivar, we've got olives, and there's everything in between. We then get the little menu and you can order your type of eggs, whether it is menemen, like we said, it has got that Ottoman influence here. Cappuccino on the way. I'm loving it.
So clumsy. Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Vala.
Vala, thank you so much. And here we have the star of the show. We went for menemen, which is essentially a Turkish egg, pepper and tomato dish. And look at how it comes. It's boiling hot. They're like little copper trays, which I absolutely love. And I'm ready for this. Super orange, gooey eggs.
Similar to shakshuka, right?
It is really similar, but I feel like the way that the flavours are, it's ever so slightly different. That's lovely.
I am slowly but surely becoming a real Balkan man. You cannot beat fresh bread, eggs, cheese, ivar for breakfast. But that does really bring an end to our time in Sarajevo, and to have had the opportunity to check out central Bosnia, Travnik, a town you've probably never heard of before, was an absolute privilege. And I would highly, look at this building, recommend Hotel Baskuka. We are right underneath the Yellow Fortress, but we will be getting the train later today from Sarajevo to Mostar. So we will see you in the next one from Bosnia.